Alright guys, I just want to make a short video. I want to, just amazed, 3 weeks ago I think it was, I started paying attention to the Arizona, a very apparent election fraud that's going on. And you have to ask yourself right now, when in history, and as long as you've been alive, have you seen so much questionable election based, alleged fraud? I mean, there's no other way to put it. I started paying attention about the year 2000 when, the presidential election, the count hung over the state of Florida, and of course that was Gore versus Bush, and Florida was governed by Jeb Bush at the time, and I just thought that it was ironic that it came down to the needle. Everything hung over the outcome of the vote count of the state of Florida, and after demanding a recount, it turns out that George Bush supposedly won. I've questioned it ever since, even though I'd rather have had Bush than Gore, but I don't trust either one of them. Now we got this. Now, let's move forward to when Barack Obama got elected the first time. You remember the Acorn scandal, the Diebold scandal, all of these weird things that sort of encircled the election process. And it's kind of like, just had no idea. I don't know how to explain it other than it just seemed amazing to me that in every single election since I've actually started paying attention about the year 2000, there has been one scandal or another surrounding who eventually became president, or if the incumbent won. Now, Arizona, these guys, you got to give these guys credit. I'm just browsing this website. I found a link through a video I was watching, but I wanted to play this clip. I'm going to put a link to this video in the description. I want you guys to listen to this. Now, this is a bunch of voters who have been basically disenfranchised. Their votes will not count. You have a Democrat guy here. Right, this guy here is a Democrat. This guy says disenfranchised voters who didn't get to vote won't get to vote. There shouldn't be a recount because it'll be too expensive. Not a recount, but they shouldn't hold another vote because it would be too expensive, and it would disenfranchise the people who have already casted their ballot. Now, here's the problem here. Arizona polls closed with people still standing in line. Thousands and thousands of people had not voted yet. The polls closed. They announced a winner within minutes. This thing was rigged from the get-go, and these people here in this audience know it. This guy's a Democrat, and he's actually trying to stand up for the people here and say, look, it's obvious, it's very apparent that something illegal, something fraudulent has taken place, very poorly orchestrated, because they got caught. And you have this Republican guy who basically, I'm not saying that he thinks it's right, I'm just saying that he thinks that having a re-vote, which is what they needed to do, he thinks that that'd be too expensive and a bad idea, and it would disenfranchise the people who had already voted. But if you think about the outcome of the election, okay, you don't truly know who would have won, because all you have to go by are the votes that were actually cast, the ballots that were actually cast. So would the outcome change if everybody was able to vote? That's the question that nobody can answer unless you have a re-vote. But that question was never brought up. But I want you to listen to this, and I want you to listen to this guy that comes and speaks at the podium here in just a second. But I want you to listen to this guy argue with her over why there isn't enough transparency here.
Madam Chair, I just asked a question, and I would like to see if we have an answer to that question. Are we working with the speaker? Are we being proactive? Because we're talking about the voice of the voters right now.
Using up their time. You are using up their time.
We have all day, quite frankly.
Using up their time. Let's go to the next individual.
Madam Chair, we're going to go to Jeff Wood.
Yes, I do have video testimony. If you can please go to Phoenix Rising Media. Can you do that? Can you go to our Rising Phoenix Media on YouTube? Okay, So everyone here, please go to Rising Phoenix Media on YouTube. This has been documented. I got the beginning. I waited 6 hours and 15 minutes to vote. Okay, 45 minutes to park, 5.5 hours in line. We ordered pizza twice while waiting. Okay, everyone's calling out Michelle Regan and Helen Purcell, and that is totally justifiable. I want to call out one group in particular that should have known about this and alerted the public: the media, the mainstream corporate media in here. Anyone covering elections would have known. In 2008 we had 400. Then we went with a uncontested Democratic primary in 2012 with 200 down to 60. It is your fault. You were supposed to be the fourth estate. You did not inform the public. No one knew about early voting, and I want to call it the Arizona Democratic Party as well for not letting anyone know that there was early voting. Okay? If they knew there was going to be a problem, you know why they didn't tell anybody? Because they have their candidate already. Her name is Hillary Clinton. Okay? That is why. Who do you think was changing all those names? Who do you think was changing all those names? Okay? I know of at least 4,000 people. Okay? There's been 4,000 confirmed people that have the registration changed. Everyone that I know that have the registration changed was a Bernie Sanders supporter. Okay? I want a federal investigation and a nonpartisan recount of this entire vote. We need another day of voting, okay? We need to count all provisional ballots, okay? That's what we need to do, okay? I waited in a church after waiting in line in the wind and the heat for 3 hours, and there was a pastor telling us to show up on Easter Sunday. There is supposed to be a separation of church and state. I expect you to rectify this issue. Thank you.
Next individual wishing to speak.
Okay. Did you hear how mad this guy was? He was absolutely enraged. Now times the thousands and thousands of people who didn't get to vote, and the thousands of people who know that this thing was carefully orchestrated but very, very poorly carried out. This is voter fraud at the highest degree. I'm going to end this video with this. I don't care who wins the presidency, as long as it's not Ted Cruz or Hillary Clinton. I'm not a big fan of Bernie Sanders, but I think he does love his country, and I think that at least, even though I don't believe in socialism, there's no way on God's green earth that Bernie Sanders could be as bad as Ted Cruz or Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is a Democratic political machine. She's super right-wing, though. She has the most inconsistent political history, her entire career. I think Ted Cruz is the epitome of the right-wing grand old party, and he is still not an establishment favorite, but I'll promise you he's more of a favorite to the establishment than Trump will ever be. I do believe, though, if we have a hope in hell of surviving as a country, we need to vote for Donald Trump. It's just my opinion. Now I want to say this. Hillary Clinton needs to go to prison. I don't think she will go to prison, but she needs to be indicted, and she needs to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. There are too many victims under the umbrella of the Clinton family, period. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to put a link to that other video in the description. You guys are going to enjoy watching it. It's long, but boy, I'm so glad that so many people are turning out and voicing their opinion at this apparent fraud that's taking place. It is absolutely reprehensible what they're doing. Keep up the good work and spread the word, guys. I'll see you in the next video.